Inflation has fallen for the first time in a year, reflecting cheaper fuel and food prices. The Consumer Price Index dropped from 5.2% in September to 4.5% in October, the largest fall in 1 month since 1992. But are consumers benefiting from big drops in the prices of commodities? Our economics editor, Hugh Pym, has more details.
It peaked at 5.2%, but a month later, inflation measured by the Consumer Prices Index is on the way down, and by a big step to 4.5%. If you drive or have travelled a bit recently, you'd have seen the difference, with cheaper fuel prices the main reason for the fall in the inflation rate. In the shops, though, falling inflation is not so easy to find.
Yes, all gone up. Even though you've got a lot of offers, there's still a lot of price rises.
Well, I did notice the prices were going up, and obviously the family shop, because I've got 4 children, went up. But to be honest, last week I noticed there was a difference, it had gone back down.
Although some grocery prices have fallen recently, they remain much higher than a year ago. Meat fell 1.4% in October, but remains 14% higher on the year. Vegetables eased a little in the month, but are still almost 10% up over the year. Milk, cheese and eggs, meanwhile, were up 2.3% on the month. They now stand almost 13% higher than a year ago. But with global commodity prices like oil plunging, inflation could have a lot further to fall. Take gas bills, up a lot recently, but quite possibly on the way back down in a few months' time.
Wholesale energy prices have dropped very sharply since they peaked in July, falling by just over 40%. I would expect that to feed through into the retail energy price sometime next year.
Falling inflation might look like good news for shoppers, and to an extent it is. But if things get out of hand, we could have deflation, falling prices across the board. That last happened back in 1960. It was only for a few months and didn't spoil the fun as Britain entered the swinging 60s. But deflation did take root in Japan in the late 1990s and caused a lot of damage. It followed a property slump and the humiliation of bank failures. As banks closed, consumer confidence was shattered and the economy was hit hard. Japan's inflation went negative and into deflation at the end of that decade. It was hard to shake off, with inflation only reappearing in 2006.
It creates a fear, it creates an unwillingness to spend, it exacerbates the economic downturn, and it certainly creates a feeling that somehow we're never going to come out of this cycle unless we take very drastic action.
Back here we're still a long way from that, but the government and the Bank of England want to do all they can to keep people spending and stop prices plunging. Hugh Pym, BBC News.
The leader of Haringey Council in London has formally apologised for the events that led to the violence.